In a move that could either be Mickey's masterstroke or his last magic misfire, Disney has announced plans to splurge approximately $60 billion over the next decade on its parks, products, and experiences. And that's right, Disney is doubling down on roller coasters, mouse-shaped ice creams, and lines longer than a Dickens novel. And to be fair, they really need to. But there's a lot of arguments out there saying that maybe this isn't even close to enough. Oh, and did I mention that once they made this announcement, the company promptly dropped 3% on the Dow? Wow. I guess we need to dive into Disney's disastrous double down. Here we go. Okay, jumping right in, Disney revealed in an SEC filing that this capital expenditure surge is nearly twice what it spent on DPEP in the last decade. And you'd think that they're building a theme park on Mars with that kind of budget, but no, they're just planning to expand capacity at their existing parks and cruise lines worldwide. Because let's face it, the world needs more undercooked theme park lands with 1 or 2 rides and thousands of retail shops and restaurants. Disney CEO Bob Iger was faced with Wall Street analysts and investors today. He came armed with a polished presentation and an endless slideshow. He talked about leveraging Disney's stories, enlarging their already ginormous theme park footprint, and reeling in even more fans because, well, you're a theme park company. And Disney already having the biggest physical footprint out there, at least in the physical theme park business, Disney claims it owns thousands of more acres of land around its current sites that could be used to expand. They likely have even more than that, but that's not what we're going to reveal right now, or at least not what they're going to choose to reveal. And I can tell you they have a lot of shell companies that own a lot of real estate, but that's an entirely other thing to talk about later. Now, around 100 million people descend on Disney parks each and every year. Although fewer made the sojourn to Disney World this year, Disney is not satisfied with these numbers and sees growing competition coming from Universal. Now, Bob says he sees an opportunity in this and maybe a chance to welcome some more folks into the magical world if he's got somebody else, a competitor, pulling more bodies. According to their internal research, and this is a very addressable market of over 700 million people with a high Disney affinity who have yet to grace the parks with their presence. I can smell the popcorn and cotton candy now. The problem is the financials aren't making a lot of sense. And again, a different rabbit hole. So the problem is, and I think a lot of people probably understand this, Disney is in over their head financially at the moment. And it could be argued that $60 billion literally could be a spending cut for the future. If they're only spending $17 billion in the United States to expand Walt Disney World or keep it functioning for a decade, that's not nearly enough money. And if they're going to build a third gate park in Disneyland Resort, they're going to probably have to spend somewhere around $6 billion to get another park in place along with another hotel property. They also can't count on Anaheim to help them bolster this project any longer because the particular makeup of the city council isn't as Disney friendly as they used to be. Based on all the announcements that were made today, it sounds like the balance of the funds over the next decade are going to actually go to the international parks such as Tokyo, Paris, and of course the 2 parks in China. It also looks like they'll be spending additional money on additional cruise ships over the course of those 10 years as well. So what does it really amount to? Well, if you're a theme park fan, not very much, at least not here in the United States. And abroad, you can probably only count on additions to those parks that already exist elsewhere in the Disney ecosystem because they have very little creativity left in the company. What's more is they still have an undercooked park in Florida called Epcot that still isn't quite complete and nowhere near what was promised just a few short years ago. So I guess that leaves us with a couple of questions, or at least one important one. Will Disney's colossal investment in theme parks be a roller coaster of success with lots of gems being added to parks globally? Or will it become the world's most expensive trap for unsuspecting tourists? And if so, for how long? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. Disney believes that they will spend enough money to compete with Universal in Florida and with Universal around the world and across the United States. Because let's not forget, Universal is building its first theme park in the center of the United States in Texas, and that's coming pretty soon. Is Disney preparing to fend off competition? That's a question I would love for you to answer down in the comments section down below. And until next time, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, see ya!